All right, so episode number 8 days in a row. Just going to keep on going here. And the idea of perfect timing, going with the flow of life, what does that mean? How do you utilize that? It's really about following the path of least resistance. And if you understand that all of life is your creation, you're manifesting all of it. Everything that you're experiencing isn't coming from outside of yourself, it's coming from within yourself, not necessarily from within your body, because your body's within your own consciousness. So if you think of your life as a snow globe, that's your life, that's you. And you have a body inside that snow globe, that's part of your life, but everyone else is also part of your life. All the experiences are part of your life. So seeing yourself as being connected to all that is, being connected to the broader spectrum of all creation, all of existence, and knowing that whatever circumstances or people that you're encountering day to day are your own creations, that number one puts you in the position of taking responsibility to say, hey, I've created this for a reason. And then number two, you get the opportunity to respond to that in the way that you prefer. That's really what responsibility is all about, because consciously or unconsciously, it's your manifestation. So how do you decide to allow yourself to stay in the flow? Well, recognize, use discernment, right? There's something here. And if it triggers you, if it brings something up, it's like, wait a sec, I created this for a reason. I created it to serve a positive purpose. Now it's my job to discover what that positive purpose is. And sometimes that can seem challenging, of course, if it's something health related or loss, seeming loss. Loss isn't real, right? The idea of loss is a perception. Things just change form. So in the sense, maybe you lose the past because the past is changing form into the present. And sometimes that seems significant, but it's never really a loss. It's a transformation. And life is all about transformation. So if you're not used to that by now, just allow yourself to accept it at a deeper level than you ever have, and know that when you step into the unknown, things are going to transform and change. Things are going to be different than the way they were, but that's fine. You want them to be that way. You created them to be that way for yourself. So really hone in on that, allowing yourself to be in the flow. And when you do that, you automatically allow the perfect timing of everything to manifest, because you're no longer fighting against the current. You're following that path of least resistance, so to speak. And that is the easiest way to live. So I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to look at the aspects of your life that you may have trigger points around, that you may be neglecting, that you may not be entirely satisfied with. And notice, hey, are these actually here to serve me? And if they are, then of course they are. How can you allow them to serve you? Asking yourself that question. How can you allow it to serve you? And just notice what that feels like when you take on that type of perception. It's a lot different. It's a lot different than fighting it. It's a lot different than wanting to change it. Of course, you may be prompted to interject and make suggestions. If you're working in a team environment, as many of you are now as part of my network, part of the Quantum Elite team, we're working together. We're working with one another, and everyone has their own unique skills, and we're collaborating those skills and allowing them to work together, and it has to be cohesive. And so we get to shine the light on people's gifts and abilities and simultaneously allow them to mold to the greater good of the community. And it has to make sense for everyone. And so the beautiful thing about working within a community is that no one needs to stand out in particular. Everyone is equal, everyone is significant. And simultaneously, everyone gets the opportunity to express their own unique creative gifts. So while no one stands out in particular, everyone ends up standing out in their own unique way. And it's about gathering everyone to get on board with this unified vision of where this is going. And in my case, when I'm working with communities or one-on-one individuals, which immediately has an impact on their community, on their audience, it's about elevating to the fifth dimensional realm of consciousness, having that higher perception, seeing the win-win in all that is, seeing the gold, and allowing it to manifest naturally, synchronistically, organically in your life in a way that is fun and exciting for you. That is the whole point of this journey here. So when you get in that flow, You're no longer fighting things. You're just seeing, hey, how does it fit? And you allow it to fit. And it's all perfect. And just allow it to be perfect. And the more you allow it, the more it just takes over. People come into your life and they assist, they support, they offer support in ways that allow what you're doing to expand, your message, your mission to expand, your community to expand, your audience to expand, and everyone's working together in the most amazing way. So that's what it's all about, getting into the flow and allowing those things to happen. And then the perfect timing is natural. It'll happen exactly when it needs to happen. And if you fight that, if you want it to happen sooner, well, you can't anyway. You can't have it happen sooner than it needs to happen. It's like baking a cake, right? You need those ingredients first and foremost. So that's part of getting into the flow, allowing yourself to gather the resources. And then you have to assemble those ingredients in the correct way. That's, again, part of that flow and things fitting together in the right order at the right time. It's a complete system, by the way. It's not something that you have to manipulate with your mind. It'll happen naturally as you follow that inner enthusiasm, that inner guidance system. And just allow that to happen. And when you do, then that timing of baking the cake, whether it's 20 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, whatever, you know it takes a certain period of time in order for that cake to bake. And if you take it out sooner than it's ready, then what happens? You don't have a cake. You have a flat cake or whatever. It's not what you're looking for. You're looking to have that elevation, right? You want it to be a delicious creation. So allow everything in your life to be delicious by allowing it to have that perfect timing and allowing those ingredients to manifest organically for you rather than trying to fit the pieces together yourself. Sometimes there's a level of action and effort put in to, if you want to look at it as like control or leading or vocalizing yourself. It's not really controlling in the sense that you're knowing what needs to be done and your body's taking the action. You're allowing your body to take the action. When you're viewing it from this point and allowing it to happen in that way, it's not exhausting, it's energizing. And so that's the whole point of what you're doing here, is to follow that inner passion and enthusiasm for life moment to moment to the best of your ability, without insisting that it needs to look a certain way, without making assumptions about what certain things mean along your path, just allowing it to be a reflective mirror for your own growth and evolution. And that awareness of your soul, knowing that the entire experience is coming from your soul and there's nothing outside of you. And when you identify with always being supported, that your soul is always there for you, that you are living in your soul always, the world is in your soul. It's all safe, it's all good. Allow yourself to be supported, accept that it is true for you to be loved, to be nurtured, to be guided. And that's what we cover every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time at the Phoenix Rising Masterclass, is allowing you to embody these principles of truth. They're facts. You're supported. That's a fact. How do I know? Because you're here and now. You exist. Therefore, you have everything you need to exist in this moment. It may not be exactly the way you'd prefer, and that's just part of your growth and evolution. And the more you align with that spiritual nature, that divine nature, the more it does turn into the reality that you prefer, because it's aligned with from a point of balance. And when you're living in truth, everything is perfect. Everything is in balance. Your health is in balance. Your finances are in balance. Your relationships are in balance. And the ones that aren't aligned will be repelled, and the ones that are fully in line with you will be magnetized. And you just shed those layers more and more, and it gets easier and easier, more natural and natural by the day, by the moment. And as you decide to live in the moment, being present, being who you truly are to the best of your ability, then you begin to live a magical and miraculous life filled with synchronicity, filled with the knowingness that you are abundant, having exactly what you need to have when you need to have it to do what you need to do. That's what we're doing here in this community. That's what I'm helping other communities evolve into, transport their consciousness to the highest levels accessible. And this fifth dimensional reality is miraculous. And I encourage you to join me on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll see you then. Bye for now.